Just when you think it's a typical court day, bam! Plaintiff Ms. Thomas spills the tea about her whirlwind romance with defendant Mr. McKee that started online and quickly got very real. She's visibly shaken as she recounts how he bailed when she announced her pregnancy. Keep watching! The plot thickens from here.
Ms. Thomas, you and the defendant, Mr. McKee, met online dating website, and the conversation quickly jumped offline and in Mr. McKee's bed. You were in a committed relationship with the defendant and was devastated when he denied your pregnancy.
Next up, Mr. McKee throws a curveball by doubting he's the dad based on the kid's looks. This major plot twist has everyone's ears perked up as the paternity mystery deepens. What's next? Oh, it's good. Trust me.
That there is no way you could be the biological father of plaintiff's son, Carson. You claim once you took a look at Ms. Thomas's son, you were 100% sure her baby belonged to another man.
Oh boy, here comes the love story, or so Ms. Thomas thought. She details those cozy nights and long chats that made her think it was the real deal. But wait until you hear Mr. McKee's side. It's a classic she said scenario. The next part will have you rolling your eyes and laughing.
And then I started going to see him, maybe like a 45-minute drive from where I live, like every other day. So I'm assuming that I'm spending the night, staying the night with him.
You're having a good time, getting to know one another.
Yeah.
You all obviously, since you spending the night, already started having sex. What did you like about him? What were you drawn to?
His look. He's not a bad-looking person. He looks. He's funny. He's hilarious. He keeps a smile on his face.
And here's where it gets even more tangled. The judge dives into Mr. McKee's fear of commitment while he plays it cool, claiming he wasn't all in. This dance of denial and confusion just adds more fuel to the fire. Watch out for what's coming. It's a doozy.
You having sex, having this relationship going, but feeling like making commitment.
I wasn't ready, Your Honor.
Say something else besides that. No, really, mister. Tell me about it, though. You know, a lot of times we're in situations like this where there are two people are on two different pages. Did you know Ms. Thomas wanted to be in a relationship with you?
Not really, Your Honor.
Grab your tissues, folks. Ms. Thomas recounts the heartbreak of her pregnancy reveal and Mr. McKee's ghosting act. It's a roller coaster of emotions with a blocked number and a whole lot of drama. But hang on, the emotional roller coaster takes a wild turn next.
So maybe like a couple weeks later, I say, let me take a pregnancy test. So I took a pregnancy test. I took a picture of it and I sent it to him through text message. I say, I'm pregnant. He's like, oh, okay, so whatever you decide to do.
I believe that's all he said. So, Mr. McKee, you found out she was pregnant. What were you thinking, sir?
She called me when she was like 3 months pregnant. I know I got a phone call. I was at work. I told her I'd call her back, but I ended up blocking her number.
Cue the laugh track. Mr. McKee compares the baby to Donald Trump, of all people. It's a hilariously awkward moment that lightens the mood, but scratches at deeper issues of identity and paternity. Don't go anywhere. The laughs and gasps keep coming.
She sent you a text with the picture of the baby. Your first response was what?
The baby look like he can be for Donald Trump.
Really?
I didn't expect that.
He thinks the color makes a difference. The color don't make a difference.
What you're saying is the baby was biracial? That's what you meant. So when you saw the baby, you said, that's not mine.
Yes, Your Honor.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any wilder, the judge calls out Mr. McKee for his, let's say, busy love life, revealing not one, but multiple baby mamas at the same time. This bombshell has the courtroom in stitches and disbelief. The grand finale is up next, and it's a shocker.
That's 3 paternity cases going at one time. These are babies.
Right.
These are people. It's not a sport.
I've been married. I'm a widow. So 4 of my kids was from my husband. It's not like I'm out here just sleeping around.
You'll never guess how this ends.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. McKee, you are not the father.
Serious?
He is not the father, Ms. Thomas.
All right, buckle up. The courtroom's already buzzing as we dive into Lusk versus Page. Ms. Lusk is here to prove that her 3-year-old Munchkin's dad was Ms. Page's son, who's sadly no longer with us. Hang tight because the drama's just getting started.
Ms. Lusk, you and your mother say you have no doubt whatsoever when it comes to knowing your 3-year-old daughter, Samari's biological father is. The man you claim is her father has died, and now find yourself facing off against his mother is just as convinced that she is not your daughter's grandmother.
Things are heating up. Ms. Page is dropping bombs of doubt, saying her son was all tied up with another lady, and Ms. Lusk was never on his radar. You'll want to stick around because the tea is about to spill.
Ms. Page, there's no way in this world Ms. Lusk is being truthful. For starters, you contend your son was in a committed relationship with another woman, and until he passed away, you never heard of Ms. Lusk.
Grab your tissues. Ms. Lusk spills her heart out about tackling teen pregnancy and single motherhood. As she lays down her struggles, you can't help but root for her. And just when you think it can't get any heavier, there's more to come.
Pregnant at 16, having to still go through school. These past 4 years, everything has been on me and my mom. And I feel it's completely unfair because he has a whole other side. She has a whole other side. So my daughter is beautiful, and you missed out on 4 years. Not
Okay,
only
Miss
me.
Lust,
Not
everybody's
only
a
me.
single parent. You're
You're
not the only
absolutely
one.
correct, but you
It
were a
happens
single
every
parent
day
as well.
all
Hold on,
by
let's get some
yourself.
order. Let's
You
get
raised
some
Desmond
order.
by yourself.
Here's the scoop. Ms. Lusk insists that Ms. Page's son is the daddy. And boy, is it messy with him not around to chime in. Strap in, because the roller coaster is heading to a wild turn.
You believe Ms. Page's son is her biological father.
Yes, ma'am.
Unfortunately, her son is deceased, so this has been an paternity issue for the past 3 years related to this beautiful, precious little girl. And you're saying you need help.
They're out for money. I had insurance on
What
my
money?
son. I had an insurance policy. They're out for
That we
money.
knew nothing about.
Let her
That we
speak.
knew nothing
No.
about.
Whoa, things just got real gritty. Ms. Page accuses Ms. Lusk of eyeing a hefty insurance payout, which just complicates everything like a daytime soap opera. But hold on, the plot thickens even more from here.
You said you have an insurance policy.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so this insurance policy, in the amount of $50,000, admitted that paperwork to the court. Ms. Lusk is attempting to get a portion of that money.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that's why she's claiming your deceased son is her child's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your
Your son was in a committed relationship.
Just when you think you've seen it all, Ms. Page is all kinds of shocked about the baby news, thinking it's all a big mix-up. The story twists and turns, and you won't believe what's next.
You asked to go to the school. Of course she wasn't showing. She was just pregnant.
You went to see Ms. Lusk at school?
Yes, I
Yes,
gave
I
her
went to see
permission.
her ask
They
to
had
talk to her
call
and
an
to
actor.
find out what was going on. She didn't look, she was holding her head down. She had no whatsoever.
But at the same time, this was my first time meeting you. Her exact words were, "Look like his type. You're very pretty."
Miss Lust
And
and
she
Miss
said the
Anderson, my
same
son didn't
thing.
have a relationship.
Hold your popcorn tight. Judge Lake is digging deep, asking if there's room in Ms. Page's heart for the little one. If the DNA test checks out, things are about to get super intense, so don't go anywhere.
Miss Page through Facebook to tell her to call. And that's when I broke the news to her about my daughter being pregnant by her son.
During that conversation, what was said?
The very first thing she said to me is, my son is a legend. She seemed proud.
He's always gonna be a legend in my book.
She then had said to me that her son had no reason to be doing whatever doing in his past. And
Everyone's on edge. The court is piecing together the deceased's love life to figure out if Ms. Lusk's story holds water. This detective work might just blow the lid off the whole case.
Were you aware in a relationship with Ms. Lusk? Were you aware may have had a child?
I have asked everybody. Nobody even know of Miss Lusk. Nobody.
Now, Ms. Lusk, I want to ask you, were you aware that Desmond was in another relationship with someone else?
No, Your Honor, I didn't find out until the day after his passing.
The moment of truth, no kidding.
The probability of relatedness between Ms. Page and Samari Page is 99.96%.
Things are getting spicy. Ms. Lohman is crossing her fingers that Mr. Mitchell is the daddy-o of her little girl, aiming to lock down their family future. Meanwhile, Mr. Mitchell isn't so sure, and he's pretty blunt about it. If the DNA test says he's not the father, their next month's wedding is canceled. No ifs or buts. Just wait till you see what's up next. It's a doozy.
Ms. Lohman, you are in court today hoping and praying your fiance, Mr. Mitchell, is the biological father of your daughter, London. And you and your mother are here too. You say today's DNA results will determine the future of your family.
Bet you didn't see this coming. Ms. Lohman spills the beans on their backstory. They started as high school sweethearts, and things got real when Mr. Mitchell moved into her family's home to dodge a rough home life. Their friendship took a turn one fine day when he landed a kiss while she was still dating another guy. Oh boy, keep your eyes peeled for what happens after this confession.
We met when we were sophomores in high school. Junior year, we had a lot of classes, so we became really good friends. And, he started opening up to me and telling me, about his home life. Came from a very, very hard, difficult, terrible background. And I want him and save him from that. I went home and I spoke to my mother and my dad about it. I was like, can we do something about it? They were like, yeah, we'll help him.
Hold on to your popcorn. As they dig deeper in court, it comes out that Ms. Lohman was also hanging out with her ex-boyfriend around baby-making time. The plot thickens with overlapping love interests, stirring up a stew of daddy doubts for Mr. Mitchell. You'll crack up at the next twist.
But you're still in a relationship with this boyfriend time, am I correct, Ms. Lohman?
Yes, Your Honor.
So what was that situation like?
He never found out, and to this day, he still doesn't know.
He does not know to this day that we're also sleeping with Mr. Mitchell.
Right, Your Honor.
Was this just a one-time thing when you all ended up having sex, or did it continue?
It continued.
Were you using protection?
No, Your Honor.
things just got real. Ms. Lohman breaks down the baby timeline, explaining her hookups with both Mr. Mitchell and her ex around conception. This juicy bit clears up some foggy dates and who might be the real daddy. You're not gonna believe the bombshell that drops next.
When I was about 6 weeks, I had went to the doctor and confirmed that I was pregnant. And then on my second doctor's appointment, I asked, do you have an estimate of when I conceived? Because they can't tell you the exact. And she told me I conceived somewhere between October 12th and October. And I got to looking back at the dates, and I had sex with Mr. Mitchell more than I had sex with my ex. I had sex with Mr. Mitchell about every day and only once or twice with my ex.
Grab your tissues, folks. This part dives into the emotional roller coaster and complicated relationship web. Mr. Mitchell's cousin chimes in, worried he's being played. This family drama has more twists than a pretzel. And trust me, the big reveal is just around the corner.
So you basically believe Ms. Lohman has chosen Mr. Mitchell as the best of the two options.
Well, no, Your Honor, that is not correct. No, Your Honor, that is not correct. I love Mr. Mitchell with everything I have. I have been his best friend since day one I met him. I love him not because he will take care of him. I love him because he is my best friend.
She doesn't treat me like she does, though.
Certainly doesn't talk to him like she does.
Here comes the moment of truth.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Mitchell, you are not the father.
Here we go, folks. Mr. Hamilton kicks off the courtroom drama with a zinger, asking for a lie detector test for Ms. Lombardi and a DNA test for the little one. He's pretty sure Ms. Lombardi stepped out during crucial baby-making time. The stage is set for a juicy showdown over who's the daddy and who's been naughty. Buckle up, this ride's just getting started.
You have petitioned the court lie detector test on Ms. Lombardi, as well as DNA testing regarding baby daughter. You say it is your belief defendant was unfaithful to you around the time of conception.
And bam, just like that, Mr. Hamilton drops a bombshell. He secretly tested their other 3 munchkins for paternity after Ms. Lombardi confessed to a little slip-up. With the stakes this high for the latest kiddo, the trust issues are off the charts. It's a full-blown soap opera in here, folks. Grab your popcorn, the next scene's a doozy.
I had to get our other 3 listed behind her back after she admitted to cheating with the first. You know, it was like, wow, there go the question right there. And with the baby in your question right now.
We should not have to be here, Your Honor. 4 kids. We should not have to be here for this one.
And where the doubt stands in that with this 4th one is where a case scenario.
Oh boy, here comes a curveball. Mr. Hamilton saw a buddy tiptoeing out of their apartment way past bedtime, sparking rumors of hanky-panky. Ms. Lombardi throws cold water on that hot gossip, but the crowd's buzzing. The plot thickens, and you won't believe the twist that's up next.
I see one of my buddies coming out my apartment.
Out your apartment?
2 in the morning, Your Honor. He's gonna tell me, bring some DVDs back that I let him borrow the week before. Go upstairs.
Not true.
I go upstairs, panties in the t-shirt, no bra. Wait.
I changed after he left.
Hold the phone, we've got more drama unfolding. In a cheeky move to catch Ms. Lombardi in a fib, Mr. Hamilton finds their never-used edible lotion half gone. Accusations fly like pies in a food fight, pointing fingers at secret lovers. This courtroom's turning into a circus, and there's more hilarity to come.
I go upstairs, you know, because, you know, it's a special day for us. And our vault that never was open, but I didn't taste it.
Your Honor, that is a lie.
Well, who ate the edible lotion?
It wasn't me. It had to have been him with his little cheating episode.
Hey, she lied 24/7.
Here's a tearjerker moment, folks. Mr. Hamilton faces the music about treating their daughter Janae a tad differently because, well, he's got doubts. He swears he doesn't treat her differently, but feels weird about the whole thing. Emotional stuff right here. But hold your horses, the next part is even more jaw-dropping.
How does he treat Janae differently from the other two?
He will not take care of her. He will not help me with her. I asked to watch her for 10 minutes so I could go and finish dinner and help with her if she was crying.
I was getting ready for work.
From Janae because he's
That
Janae.
is a lie.
So our
Right
older,
there,
it's a
Gasp. Ms. Lombardi confesses to cheating with Mr. Hamilton's pal, throwing everyone for a loop. This bombshell might just explain the baby daddy drama, and suddenly, it's all making sense. They're heading straight for DNA testing to clear up this paternity pickle. The next clip is the big reveal, so don't go anywhere.
Well, this would be the time.
You were right.
About what?
I cheated your
What?
friend.
That ain't nothing new. Oh, word? You really did that, man?
Yes, twice.
The night I came home.
I really did.
Man.
Yes, I cheated, Your Honor.
And it's his baby right here.
It is a possibility.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Drum roll, please.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Hamilton.
Yes, ma'am.
You are her father.
Oh my God, I knew it! I told you!
Was I floored by the simple magic of social media? We dive into the tale of how a guy stumbled upon his potential daughter on Facebook thanks to a nudge from his brother back in 2015. The room feels the weight of his discovery when he spots her profile, leaving him a weepy mess. This heart-tugging scene really hammers home the profound emotional punch these digital tools pack in reuniting long-lost kin.
How did you finally find
I'm not tech savvy or anything like that. Took my brother in 19
seen in 2015, and we just sitting there talking one day in the living room. I'm always talking about them when I said, I done tried this, I done tried that, whatever case may be. You ever try Facebook? I put in Maryland and pop right up.
Well, this revelation just tossed everything up in the air. Kicking off, Marilyn wrestles with her disbelief over the man claiming to be her dad, mirroring her tangled web of family ties. Come enter Mr. Walls, another contender in the dad department. This part lays bare the knotty mesh of perceptions and relationships in families, caught up in the whirlwind of paternity mysteries.
When you got that message and it said, this is your dad, did you feel like, I believe this?
Not at all.
What were you thinking?
I didn't think that he was my father at all.
The main thing came in.
So why did you decide to meet?
Because he was so sure. He was so adamant that he was my father. And I'm just like, I don't know my dad. At least I can just take like this step. Maybe this is just one step forward to figuring out who I am.
The courtroom was buzzing as more dad candidates popped up. It's clear that the father figure drama is far from over, with multiple men thrown into the mix. The gasp-worthy moment reveals photos of Marilyn with another family altogether, adding intrigue to the ongoing enigma of her lineage, spotlighting the tangled emotional and familial entanglements.
Have you ever heard that anyone other than these two men could be your biological father?
Yes. These two are not the only men who claim to be my dad. There's also two other men, father.
What in the world?
Yeah. One of the men who claims to be my father, I know for a fact that he wasn't, and he literally just disappeared. I don't know where he went. Like the other guy, I remember him and his family. They used to call me Little Bit. I remember him and his family over his house.
You could cut the tension with a knife during this fiery showdown. Things heat up around as Marilyn puts Mr. Hinton in the hot seat over his paternal claims and their emotional weight. Marilyn's emotional strain is palpable as she airs her grievances and the heavy load these newfound paternal claims have dumped on her shoulders, emphasizing the intricate emotional weave and hurdles in nailing down father figures later in life.
Have you prepared yourself? Did you understand that there were possible fathers, that there were 4 men that thought they could potentially be Quinn's biological father?
We met up initially at the rest. She was there before I got there, so I got there a little bit late. So I walked through the door, and it was just an instant. We hugged.
I did not run into your arms. No, I did not. You're lying. No, I didn't. I'm not just gonna run. No, I did not. No, I didn't.
Craving DNA proof, Marilyn digs for truth in the turmoil. Marilyn's call for a DNA test to solidify paternity screams her desperation for some semblance of peace amid the emotional whirlwind. Mr. Hinton's hesitance to get tested up till now paints a vivid picture of the high stakes and raw nerves at play in these paternity scuffles, spotlighting the hefty emotional and practical toll of such confrontations. As the stakes soar, peek at how the judge navigates this crucial juncture.
I asked Mr. Hinton for a DNA test, and he refused. Now, this was 3 years ago. He says he did not need a DNA test, and I said, well, I do. I'm the child of the situation. He said, I know that they share my daughter. I don't need it. He refused to get one. I did tell him at one point that, since you want to be in our life so bad, and I think I was just at that point.
Just when you thought the plot couldn't thicken any further, the DNA results are out.
It has been determined by this court. The father is Mr. Walls.
You won't believe this one. Miss Walters is stirring up drama big time. She claims that Mr. Rogers, a pal from way back when, is the dad of her kiddo, Rylan, and he's totally MIA on dad duties. She's gone all the way to court for a DNA test to get him to own up and be a dad. Both are spilling the tea to Judge Lake.
Ms. Walters, you claim the defendant was a childhood family friend who got you pregnant and now refuses to do anything for your 3-year-old son, Rylan. You've petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that he is Rylan's father, so he will finally step up.
Hold on to your popcorn, folks. Here comes Mr. Rogers and his mom, both swearing up and down that he's not Rylan's bio dad. Miss Walters isn't buying it and dishes out their history of not-so-safe romantic rendezvous, pinning him as the only guy she wasn't careful with.
You and your mother are here to prove that you are not Rylan's biological father. So, Ms. Walters, how do you know he's the dad?
I slept with another man weeks prior to even conceiving my son, and we did use protection. And at the time I conceived my son, he was the only person that I was having sex with without using protection.
Get this, when Miss Walters dropped the pregnancy bomb via text with a pic saying 6 weeks pregnant, Mr. Rogers bounced back a zinger. Congrats. Tell the other guy the same. Ouch. He really thought it wasn't his circus, not his monkey.
She texted me, sent me a picture while I was at work, and it was a sticky note that says 6 weeks pregnant. I text back, congratulations, tell the other guy congratulations.
Is that what you really felt?
Yes, ma'am. Honestly, what I believe,
Your Honor?
because she was in a relationship with this other guy.
But were you sleeping with her during the window of conception?
Yes, ma'am.
This part is a real tearjerker. Miss Walters talks about going solo at doctor's appointments, and Mr. Rogers only showing conditional support, all based on the big if about being the daddy. Mr. Rogers chimes in about how tight their families were and how this mess has shaken everyone up. Stick around, it's about to get even more tangled.
It was hard. He didn't come to any doctor's appointments. I was doing it by myself. And once I got maybe 7, 8 months, oh, I'll be there if he's mine. I'll take care of him. Don't put me on child support. Once I had him, he came to the hospital. Left the hospital before my son was born.
Hey, me and this girl have been through everything together, known each other since we was in diapers. I felt like she was trying to push me as the she knew we would always be there.
Now, here's a trip down memory lane with Miss Sanders. She paints a picture of Miss Walters practically being part of the furniture at their house, just like one of the family. But now, there's this massive elephant in the room, making everything awkward.
So you would let her spend the night just like another child?
She was
and you
all
wouldn't
summers with us. She spent weekends with us. Her dad lived, and while he worked or whatever, he'd come and stayed at my home. I didn't feel the need to supervise it because they grew up.
Did you know if Miss Walters was intimate with anyone else?
Later on, I did because I found a bunch of condoms in her stuff when I went through it.
Here's where it gets really kooky. Mr. Rogers missed a court date, so bam. He's slapped with being the legal dad for child support. Talk about a whoopsie daisy. He's baffled, thinking how did he get roped into this without any DNA proof? Don't go anywhere. Courtroom drama is just heating up.
When the court date was set up for the DNA test, so I missed the court date, automatically rules me as the father. I'm thinking, how am I on child support? There's been no DNA, birth certificate signed. There's no connection to me and that boy as him being mine as,
Your Honor,
at the moment.
But there's been a court.
Yes, ma'am.
I can't tell you how many men stand before me. Your Honor, I got this court date in the mail. Went to this address and I had to work and I knew that child wasn't mine, so I just didn't go.
Listen up as Miss Rogers, Mr. Rogers' sister, and Miss Walters' BFF steps into the witness box. She's here to spill the beans that her bro probably isn't the dad, given all the partying and the other dude Miss Walters was with. Oh boy, grab your snacks because the saga continues.
And Miss Rogers, you are Miss Walters' best friend. How long have you known one another?
22 years.
Last name Rogers?
Yes.
Sounds familiar.
Yes, ma'am, that's my sister.
Do you believe your brother is Ryland's father?
No, ma'am.
Why?
Well, because at the time we were all young, we all done our different things. We were all partying together every day, all the time. Every time we went out together. I was aware of her sleeping with the other guy. So stated the next morning that she did sleep with him.
Feel that tension? It's thick. Everyone's getting emotional about what this all means for little Ryland. They're all twisted up over whether the families can ever play nice again if Mr. Rogers is confirmed as the dad. But don't wander off. The moment of truth is about to drop.
There is a beautiful child here. 3 years old, doesn't know who his father is. And then if you are the biological father, are the two families going to be able to get along enough
It'll never be the same.
to support this child?
Too much between us.
It'll never be the same.
And then if he's not a biological child, to mend this rift and to put these families back together.
Possible, Your Honor, but there's no telling with the different family members that are each other's family.
And here it is, the big reveal. The DNA test says,
it has been determined by this court, Mr. Rogers, you are his father.
I'm sorry.
buckle up, folks. The courtroom drama is just getting started. The case Salvo vs. Gonzalez is introduced by the court clerk. Miss Salvo claims she's about 99% sure that Mr. Gonzalez is the father of her 1-year-old daughter, Amaya, and she's here to prove it. She stresses the importance of Amaya having a father figure, hinting that this episode could be a real tearjerker. You won't believe what's coming next.
You carried on a sexual relationship with the defendant, Mr. Gonzalez. Desperately want to prove Mr. Gonzalez her biological father because it will break your heart without a dad.
Here we go. Miss Salvo steps up and declares that Mr. Gonzalez is absolutely the dad, spilling her guts about how much this means to her. On the flip side, Mr. Gonzalez isn't convinced he's the father, thanks to Miss Salvo's rather colorful dating history, which apparently includes his best bud. Brace yourselves. Courtroom's about to turn into a soap opera.
But because Miss Salvo's repeated lies, you have no idea if it's true. You argue that Miss Salvo had sex with multiple men. Any one of them could be her child's father.
The plot thickens. Miss Salvo is sticking to her guns, denying any romantic escapades with other men around the time Amaya was conceived, except with Mr. Gonzalez. She recounts a single night of passion, which she claims was enough to start the baby clock. Oh boy, keep watching. It's about to get juicier.
I've never had sex with any other man but him. I was drunk, he came over, he got me at the right time.
You had one time?
Yes.
Time for a quick chuckle. Mr. Gonzalez shares a hilarious tale about getting caught in the buff in Miss Salvo's kitchen by her mom, who apparently appreciated the view. The courtroom erupts in laughter, but don't wander off. The laughter's about to be overshadowed by some serious drama.
I was thirsty. I got up. I went to get something to drink. When I opened the fridge, I was naked. Her mom saw me. Her mom was like, wow.
You were naked in her kitchen and said, wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Plot twist, Mr. Gonzalez admits they weren't exactly casual acquaintances. They had a bit of a fling while he was technically engaged to someone else. He dishes out details about their trysts, leaving us wondering about the protection protocol. Things are heating up. Stick around for the sizzle.
So I used to tell my fiance, I'm gonna go to the hair salon or to go get my braids done. I used to go to Ashley's house to go get my hair done. Maybe maybe once or twice.
The whole part 6 times, that's ridiculous. It wasn't even good, so why would I keep going?
It's time for a mini genetics lesson in the courtroom. Miss Salvo argues that Amaya has got to be Gonzalez's because, well, she just looks like him. A lot. She's even got a photo to prove it, focusing on a dimple that might as well be a genetic signature. Get ready, the next part is a doozy.
She looks way too much. The dimple, one dimple just like he does. The shape of his eyebrows, a picture of my daughter with her one dimple.
Gonzalez has a dimple. Here, Amaya, I that one dimple.
As if this couldn't get any more tangled, enter the ex-boyfriend and Mr. Gonzalez's best friend, both potential daddies, according to Mr. G. Miss Salvo is having none of, insisting it's all Gonzalez, all the time. Fasten your seatbelts. The emotional roller coaster is not slowing down.
Your best friend had naked picture of Miss Salvo.
Yes, he's lying. One, I don't even send naked pictures. I don't ever even let nobody
claiming he had a sexual relationship with Salvo?
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you with any other men during this window besides your ex-boyfriend and Mr. Gonzalez?
I was with nobody.
Let's talk about baby duty. Mr. Gonzalez claims he's been Mr. Mom, while Miss Salvo calls bluff, saying her fiance has been the real MVP. The accusations fly faster than diapers at a baby shower. Don't touch that dial. The DNA results are up next, and they're a game changer.
Formula, diapers, baby carrier, everything.
That's a bold-faced lie. 2 itty-bitty toothbrushes and some toothpaste for my daughter. His mother bought that and found it on the corner of the road. I don't purchase it. I'm not quite sure.
And here's the moment we've all been waiting for.
It has been determined by this court that you are not the father.
Buckle up, Buttercup. Mr. Fuller and his mom roll into court, claiming he's the dad to Ms. Nelson's 2-year-old Spitfire, Milani. They're dead set on proving paternity against Ms. Nelson's stark denial. Grab your popcorn. It's about to get spicy.
Mr. Fuller, you and your mother are here today to prove that you fathered the defendant's 2-year-old daughter, Milani. You say Ms. Nelson led you to believe that you were her daddy and build a strong relationship, wants to rip her away from you. Ms. Nelson, you acknowledge Mr. Fuller's relationship with your daughter, but you are now certain that he is not child's father and will prove it in court.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold on to your seats, folks. Ms. Nelson drops a bombshell. The DNA test shows Mr. Fuller isn't the daddy. He and his mom are cut off from her kid. The audience loses it. You won't believe what's coming next.
So, Ms. Nelson, what are your intentions today if DNA results prove you're correct?
They will never see my daughter again. Their time just has expired with my child.
Wow, that's kind of harsh considering they have a relationship.
Barely.
Plot twist incoming. Mr. Fuller paints a picture of his cozy bond with little Milani, flashing big time with Ms. Nelson's story. They've had sleepovers and everything. Stick around. The drama's just heating up.
I got a bond with Milani. She'll bring her hair to me. She'll let her stay the night and everything for 3 months.
Not 3 months. I'm positive.
You sure?
I have allowed her to spend the night with them.
We live in Fort Lauderdale. She in Melbourne. We have this baby 2 to 3 months.
You guys are
whenever she need us to need.
You had her for a few weeks.
Here's a curveball for you. Ms. Fuller's been sure from the jump that she's a grandma to Milani, despite Ms. Nelson's fiery denials. But wait, there's more. Ms. Nelson's about to throw some shade.
Do you believe this is your son's biological
that one
child?
Girl called. I said, "Oh, I'm a grandmother." I said,
I never called you.
Nelson,
I never even had your number to get in contact
I would
with
tell you no lie.
You're not gonna believe this. Ms. Nelson tells the tale of trying to reach Mr. Fuller about her bun in the oven via Facebook since he ghosted her calls. But hold your horses. Her next move is a doozy.
I called him, he didn't answer. I saw that he was on Facebook and then I wrote him on Facebook.
Called my phone and said she was pregnant. When she had to go to the appointment, call and let us know too.
What
I wouldn't tell no lie. We accept that baby from day one. Anything that you ask us to do for this baby, we're there for this baby.
Did that just happen? Against her better judgment, Ms. Nelson's fam nudged Milani into Mr. Fuller's life when she was just a wee babe. She's not thrilled about it. Watch how she handles this pickle.
I did not inform them at all. My mother, behind my back, called them.
Now, once she called them, did they come to see the baby?
No, they did not.
How did they ever form a relationship with the child?
My baby was about 5 or 6 months old. I was at work. I was in a relationship with someone.
At 5 months old, when the child 5 months old, you're in a new relationship.
No.
Gear up for a giggle. Mr. Fuller whips out texts where Ms. Nelson is all sweet nothings about their kiddo. But don't spill your drink. The courtroom's reaction is priceless.
Mr. Fuller, do you have any proof that she told you that you were the father?
Yes, Your Honor. I got proof right here.
These are text messages. So from Ms. Nelson, I see a message that said, "We made a beautiful little angel. I love you, Milani." Then Mr. Fuller says, "I know BM, baby. Our baby, very beautiful. That must be thank BM for Milani."
Check this out. Mr. Fuller thinks Milani is his mini-me. He's got a photo to prove it, but the court's cracking up. Don't go anywhere. Ms. Johnson's about to enter the chat.
Cause she looked just like me. She got my nose, forehead.
Your Honor, after the 5 months when my mother again went behind I was at work. I didn't even know they were in town. I'm on my job. The other guy who I was with blowing me up, so I'm hearing something's wrong. How can you, at 5 5 months, no contact with me, but come to my household where I live.
This is the tea. Ms. Johnson, Ms. Nelson's mom, swears up and down that Mr. Fuller is the dad. According to her, Ms. Nelson's love life is messing with her head. Fasten your seatbelts. The judge is about to weigh in.
Mr. Fuller is Milan's biological father.
Yes.
Why do you believe your daughter cannot even believe that's a possibility that he's her biological father?
The other guy. When her and the other guy gets mad, Mr. Fuller's baby. Her and Mr. Fuller's not speaking, then it's the other guy's baby.
Oh!
This is wild. As we brace for the DNA verdict, Ms. Fuller's already tearing up, and the feels are real. But don't touch that dial. The truth bomb they're about to drop is a showstopper.
Ms. Nelson, it's borderline cruel the way you're acting. Truly wants to understand your position, but I can't get anything from you. I mean, they are over there crying.
She wanted a relationship with the child. I was not even gonna let her be part. She was like, I don't care if not my grandbaby. I want a relationship with this child. She knew there was a possibility of someone else.
Just when you thought your jaw couldn't drop any lower.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Fuller, you are not her father.
I knew who I slept with. I knew it. I knew it.
Just when you thought daytime TV couldn't get any spicier, Mr. Muriel drops a bombshell. He pleads his case for a paternity test, adamant that he's not the father of Ms. Redmond's toddler, Zedrian. He's all about clearing his name so he can stop dodging baby birthday parties and get back to his business. You won't believe what comes up next.
Mr. Muriel, you and your sister have petitioned to order a DNA test to prove that you are not father of the defendant's 18-month-old son. You have always believed you are not father, and the test so you can prove your case.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Redmond, you say you're tired of being a single mom, didn't make this baby by yourself. State there is no reason for a paternity test because the plaintiff already acknowledged he was the father by signing birth certificate.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh boy, things just got real. Judge Lake isn't buying the birth certificate signature without some tough questions. Why did Mr. Muriel sign it if he had doubts? He spills the beans about feeling cornered by Ms. Redmond's family, glaring at him like he's the last slice of pizza at a party. Buckle up, because there's more juicy stuff on the way.
When you were at the hospital, did you believe the child was yours at the time?
No.
You did not?
No.
You got the opportunity and it was time to sign the birth certificate. You went and did it. Why?
Because I felt very true. Like everybody sitting there looking at me, or like her
But
family.
his mom was there telling him the baby looked just like, ain't no denying this baby.
Was your mother present at the birth, Mr. Muriel?
No.
Now, Judge Lake turns detective, trying to pinpoint when baby Zedrian might have been conceived. It's a math problem. Not even a calculator wants to solve. Mr. Muriel's alibi involves a lot of maybes and probably nots, stirring up more confusion than a soap opera cliffhanger. Stick around, the plot thickens.
I want to figure this out because you saying you're here, you're there. Let's try to figure out actual date of conception.
Okay.
Zadrian's date of birth, what?
September 15th. I got the year and the date. Does your brother know my son's birthday if that's not his baby?
It's okay.
Why'd he sign my birth certificate middle name if it's not his baby?
After signed it, men, if they stick arm with what they do.
Here comes the big moment, folks. Judge Lake calls it. There's enough drama and doubt to warrant a paternity test. It's like flipping to the last page of a mystery novel. What's in store next is bound to flip the script.
I want to hear more facts that relate to the doubt in this case.
She got caught with a whole nother dude that she's saying she was at her friend's house. This is what happened from the beginning of the story. In my city, Lansing, Michigan, riding around. Pull up to one of my boys' house. I leave there. I see her vehicle in a neighborhood she's never in. I pull my car back.
Hold your popcorn, because the results are in.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Muriel, you are the father.
Strap in, folks, the circus has just begun. Ms. Harris is smack in the middle of a love triangle drama with two dudes claiming they might be daddy to her 18-month-old daughter, Naya. Her main squeeze, Mr. Murray, and her ex-flame, Mr. Donaldson, are both here to get to the bottom of this baby bonanza. Just when you think you've got a handle on it, hold on to your popcorn because the plot thickens.
Ms. Harris, you have been caught in a love triangle. There are two men in court today claiming to have fathered your 18-month-old daughter, Anaya, your current boyfriend, plaintiff, Mr. Murray, and the defendant, your ex-boyfriend, Mr. Donaldson. They are both in court today to prove paternity.
Here's where the soap opera levels up. Ms. Harris spills the tea about her rocky ride with Mr. Donaldson. They were all lovey-dovey until she got pregnant, then bam. He's got eyes for another, left to ride solo during her pregnancy. She still had Mr. Donaldson popping up at major events, playing the part-time good guy. Buckle up, the roller coaster is about to drop.
Tell me about your relationship with Mr. Donaldson.
From my understanding, we was dating. Then when I got pregnant, he
He told me he had feelings for another girl. He told me that he didn't want to be with me. I was basically alone during my pregnancy. He was there during the baby shower. He came to the hospital with his mom when I had her.
So dating Mr. Donaldson, you're in a relationship. Y'all a boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yeah, we were.
You find out you're pregnant while in a relationship with him?
Yes.
Twist alert. Mr. Donaldson throws a curveball, doubting the pregnancy because he thinks Ms. Harris is trying to glue him to her side since he's in love with someone else. Talk about drama. He's got suspicion written all over him and it's just heating up. Wait till you see what's coming. It's a jaw dropper.
I felt like she was trying to ruin the relationship that I
I
was.
feel like she was trying to hang on to you by claiming that she was pregnant because you told her you were in love with somebody else.
Yes, right.
Did you find out you wanted to be in a relationship with somebody else before you got pregnant or after you got pregnant?
It was after I got pregnant.
How long did this relationship last between you and Mr. Donaldson?
It was like a couple months. It wasn't that long.
Whoa there. Didn't see that coming, did ya? After doubting everything from the get-go, Mr. Donaldson finally faces the music when Ms. Harris's baby bump becomes too obvious to ignore. He admits he might be the pops, but skipped out on the doctor visits. The story's about to flip again, so don't touch that dial.
By that time, it was too late. She was like big. I hadn't seen her in so long. It wasn't even no point in getting her.
Did you accept at that time that you were the father of the baby?
I did.
You did. You acknowledged it and you accepted it.
I did.
Were you active in the doctor's appointment? Go to those?
No.
No.
Were you there when the baby was born?
Yes.
You were at the hospital?
Yes.
And in this corner, introducing Mr. Murray. Out of nowhere, he gets dragged into this paternity puzzle because Mr. Donaldson tossed his name into the ring. This just turned into a daytime Emmy-worthy plot twist. The stakes are sky high, and the next chapter, it's a doozy.
Mr. Murray, why do you believe you could be the biological father of this child?
One day I was on Facebook and I got a message, Jalen. He told me that baby could possibly be mine.
So you get a message from Mr. Donaldson telling you that the baby could possibly be yours?
Yeah, I need to get a DNA test.
You sent him that message, Mr. Donaldson?
I'm not gonna say yes, I'm not gonna say no. I don't recall.
Grab your snacks, folks. This telenovela's twisty. Ms. Harris owns up to juggling both gents around baby-making time, but is firm that Mr. Donaldson is the daddy based on their timeline. The emotional blender is set to high, and folks, you ain't ready for what's next. It's gonna be a wild ride.
You admittedly had sex with Mr. Murray during the time you were also having a relationship with Mr. Donald.
Because during that time, he used protection. From the time that talking about he could be her father is from a time in December.
You're saying the time that you had sex without protection was in December?
Yes.
It wasn't during the window of conception?
No.
Here comes a heart tug. Despite the daddy drama, Mr. Murray steps up big time, playing dad to little Anaya from when she was just a wee 3-month-old. Amidst the chaos, his big heart shines through. The feels are real, and just when you think it's all calming down, there's a curveball coming up.
So now Anaya's 18-month-old. Who's in her life father? Who does she bond with as a father? Mr. Murray.
She looks to him like he's her father because he's been there. He'd been there ever since she was 3 months.
At that point in time, she was in like a down position, so I just took her and I take care of both of you.
Everyone, take a breath. It's crunch time.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Murray, you are not the father.
That's okay. That's still your baby.
Angela Monroe breaks the ice by sharing her tough situation. Her son passed, and then out pops Shaneka Reed, claiming she's got his bun in her oven. Cue the dramatic music. Angela, the terminally ill mother, explains this bombshell situation. Grab your popcorn, folks. The drama is just heating up.
My name is Angela Monroe. My son Herbert died on January 27, 2015. After my son passed, a young lady named Shaneka Reed, which is the defendant, told me that she was pregnant from my son. The baby was born on May 31st, 2016. I really would like to know if Iyanna Monroe is my granddaughter.
Angela drops the gossip about how she found out about the pregnancy right after her son's funeral. Talk about bad timing. Angela details how she learned about Reed's pregnancy posthumously and describes her initial shock and disbelief. Strap in. This emotional roller coaster is just getting started.
I found out after my son passed, after his funeral. She came by the house, said, I have something to tell you. And she said, well, I'm pregnant. I really didn't know what to say at first. I was kind of stunned because I wasn't expecting that. I believe it was about 5 months.
This was the first time you ever heard that your son, your late son, and I'm so very sorry for loss, that he was the biological father of her child.
Yes.
Shaneka takes the floor and dishes on why she finally decided to spill the beans about the baby. She recounts her decision to inform Angela of her pregnancy, influenced by her chatty family and friends. The plot thickens, and oh boy, you won't believe what's next.
Actually, after a week after her son passed and after she laid him to rest, I called her. I wasn't even gonna let her know that I was pregnant pregnant with his child. But I was encouraged by family members, her only child, that it was important that I reach out to her. So I gave her a call. I told her that I was pregnant by her son, and I told her that I was almost 5 months pregnant.
Now, Shaneka paints a picture of her and the deceased as more than just friends. They were practically planning curtains. She shifts the conversation to their deep relationship, complicating the story for Angela, who thought she knew her son's life inside out. Keep your eyes peeled. The next part is a doozy.
That was my companion. From the second week on hanging together, he already had made it up in his mind that he wanted me to be his life companion. When she was moving out, I was supposed to move into his apartment.
Did you meet his mother?
Yes, I did meet her.
And he introduced you as girlfriend or?
No, friend. And the thing about that was our apartment, me and my son's apartment.
Things get spicy as Angela and Shaneka go head to head about who knew what and when. They exchange heated words about their expectations and misunderstandings, showing just how tangled this web is. The tea is piping hot, and it's only going to get hotter.
Nobody can take God took my son from me, so you my son to be anywhere else. That is not the person that was supposed to stay in that apartment. It was someone from California that was advised to me. That's who was going to stay in the apartment.
She wanted me to stay in the apartment after her son passed away.
You came and stayed there when you were pregnant.
I did come to stay there, and when I was staying there, and after I moved to my parents' house.
As voices raise, the focus swings back to what's best for the kiddo. The dialogue turns chaotic as both parties argue over living arrangements and financial support, revealing a breakdown in communication and a tug of war over who's in charge. Hang on, judge is about to lay down the law.
Okay, I'm accepting this baby for the first 4 months, but then
And you tell her she can come and live if she wants.
This was when she was pregnant, because my son did ask could she come stay there. I was literally like, you want somebody to just come stay here? He said, Mom, she don't have nowhere to go.
Your Honor, why, if I wasn't his girlfriend, why would he want me to stay with him? He wanted me to come since he knew I was with his child.
Judge Lake jumps in to cool down the fiery debate, aiming to steer the conversation back to the little one at the heart of this saga. She attempts to restore order and refocus the discussion on the child's welfare, highlighting the need for civility amidst the chaos. The room quiets down, but don't relax just yet. The main event is up next.
Ma'am, listen.
Ladies,
let the judge speak or the case is over.
We made it this far. All I'm trying to do is understand. Because I will say one thing. I know your son. This is his baby. Because this won't just be happening in this courtroom. This will be happening around.
Yeah, and I do not want my daughter around it.
You can't.
I'm not going to be around. I'm not in a position to be arguing with anybody. I don't have to do that. I didn't label her at the end of the day.
Drum roll, please.
It has been determined by this court. The percentage of relatedness between Ms. Angela Monroe and Iyanna Monroe is 99.98%.
Hold on to your socks. They're about to get knocked off. Ms. Wyatt spills the tea that her hubby, Mr. Roberts, is doubting whether he's the daddy of their 1-year-old daughter, all because he's been playing the field himself. This intro sets up a saga of personal and emotional fireworks. Just you wait, the sparks are about to fly.
Ms. Wyatt, you claim that your husband, Mr. Roberts, is ending paternity of your 1-year-old daughter, London, and it's driving a wedge into your marriage. You say that you got married or knowing each other for only 2 months, and your husband is denying the child only to hide his cheating ways. Yes,
Things are heating up now. Ms. Wyatt paints a picture of their marriage like it's a sinking ship, all because her man is denying their kiddo and gets jelly over nothing. She's pretty sure his cheating accusations are just him throwing smoke. Fasten your seatbelts. Next revelation is a doozy.
Now, Ms. Wyatt, describe the current state of your marriage.
Your Honor, our marriage is on the verge of divorce right now. First of all, he's denying our daughter. I think it's just to cover up the fact that he, does a lot of cheating. Like, for instance, one time I went to the store, a neighbor, he's 17 years old, and he came to her and was like, hey, Greg just got upset for nothing.
Oh boy, here comes the bickering marathon. A full-blown squabble breaks out because Mr. Roberts got all pouty about a teen neighbor just saying hi to Ms. Wyatt. Talk about drama over nothing. This couple's thermostat is set to tropical storm. And guess what? It's only going to get stormier from here.
Time out. That is so wrong. I'm gonna tell you something. This guy likes my, feel me? What older woman let a young guy?
He was speaking.
Knowing kids these days, feel me?
Your Honor.
They don't respect marriage.
What husband is going to get upset because a 7-year-old boy is speaking? Like, are you serious? He's a neighbor.
Just when you thought it couldn't get soapier, Mr. Roberts is all kinds of annoyed that Ms. Wyatt's exes are still in the picture every time she kicks him to the curb. His suspicion pot is boiling over, and let me tell you, nobody's turning down the heat. Stick around, the tea is just about to spill.
First of all, it's the thing with the exes. Every time, we went through a problem, she'll send me home, next thing you know, the exes is at the house.
First of all, I've never over just to call an ex over. If we get into an argument and he either leave or I make him go home to his mom, which he loves to do because, matter matter of fact, his mom and his sister, they all watch him cheat on me.
Yikes, the plot thickens. Out pops the bombshell that Ms. Wyatt might be window shopping for new hubbies online. She argues it's because her current model is a dud. Talk about airing your dirty laundry in public. The next piece of gossip is just around the corner.
Throughout our marriage, he had online profiles. We were talking to women. I've had women contact me saying, are you married to him? Because that's my boyfriend. I'm like, we're married. How is that your boyfriend? I don't know any other way, honest, I don't know any other way to let him know how I feel. So I tried to get him back just to prove it, and so that he can feel how when he cheats on me.
Hold the phone evidence time. Mr. Roberts waves around what he claims is proof of Ms. Wyatt's dating profile, like he's got a winning lottery ticket. The courtroom's buzzing like a beehive with this new twist. Oh, and keep your eyes peeled because there's more buzz to come.
Wyatt also has online dating profiles. Do you have any evidence of that?
Oh,
right.
Yes, I do.
This is a dating profile for Ms. Wyatt, and I'm reading a portion that says, I am currently not looking for a relationship. If nature takes its place, then so be it.
Time for a reality check. The judge is putting Mr. Roberts on the hot seat about whether he's really all in as a hubby and daddy. It's a grill session that has him squirming. And let me tell you, the heat's only going up from here.
Seems like to me, marriage isn't going the way you thought it would. As a man, I'm not seeing your commitment on a very basic level, meaning the want and desire, step up, be a husband and father vibe. Is this the case? No, a yes or no answer.
Here comes the moment of truth. Paternity. Test results. Time. Drum roll, please.
When it comes to 1-year-old London, Mr. Roberts, you are her father. Exactly.
Buckle up, folks. Ms. Markham Love spills the beans about her rough childhood, including the jaw-dropper that Mr. Tucker might not be her dad. This bombshell was dropped on Mr. Tucker at a custody battle, turning his world upside down. You won't believe what's coming up next.
Markham Love, you're here because you claim your mother, Ms. Nasir, lost you to foster care and left you torn between fathers, including the defendant. Now, Mr. Tucker, you say a bomb was dropped on you when years ago you showed up to a court hearing to gain custody of Ms. Markham Love. You claimed that day her mother delivered the news to you that you may not be biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Get ready for a twist. Ms. Markham Love learned through the grapevine, aka her grandmother, about the possibility of Mr. Tucker not being her real dad. This left her feeling more mixed up than a blender on high. Just wait until you see what happens next. It's a doozy.
I don't have a close bond with her. I've been living from foster home to foster. I found out at 12 that Myron, Mr. Tucker, may not be my father.
Now, how did you find that out?
Shireen had told my grandma related to me.
And so when you heard that, what did you think?
I felt hurt, betrayed, and lost with emotion.
You thought soap operas were dramatic? Wait until you see this. In a courtroom showdown, Ms. Nasirapur and Mr. Tucker go head-to-head over who the real daddy might be. She admitted she wasn't sure if Mr. Tucker was the father right in the middle of her pregnancy.
A letter in the mail stating that daughter was in foster care, and I went to Sacramento to go to court, try to get her. Nasirapur stood up and said that I might not be the father.
Your Honor, that's not true. 4 months pregnant, I told Myron it could be another man. I never gave no names. He left me and went to LA, supposedly.
I did not go
to he was with his girlfriend time that was pregnant.
No.
Oh, the drama intensifies. The court debates why no one thought to do a paternity test when Ms. Markham Love was just a tot. This could have saved everyone a whole lot of headache. Stick around, because the next bit is even more jaw-dropping.
My mom told her.
No, she should have known way before this.
Way before what?
Like when she was a baby.
No, you don't understand that you're a child.
Baby.
Maybe you don't understand.
No, I'm talking about a baby.
She would grow up knowing who her biological father was.
I'm paying child support still.
Paid for it. If I would have known, I would have paid for it then.
You knew when she was 12. You said it still isn't done.
Wait.
She's 22 years old now.
12 years old. Where was she at?
Grab your popcorn. Mr. Tucker lays his heart on the line, claiming Ms. Markham Love as his daughter, no matter what the tests say. His emotional plea tugs at the heartstrings. But hold on to your seats. This roller coaster's got more twists coming.
So in your mind, you were father. There was no reason to take a test.
Exactly. That's the way I feel right now.
So when you heard this in court,
at 7 years old,
did you say, I'd like a test now?
No.
At that point, why not? You just said...
Because I feel in my heart that she's mine.
All right.
Here's where it gets even spicier. Ms. Markham Love walks us through her childhood memories with Mr. Tucker and the bumpy road after she entered foster care. It's more tangled than last year's Christmas lights. You won't want to miss what's up next. It's a real kicker.
Was he involved in your life at all as a child?
Growing up, I was living in Bakersfield with him, and then when I turned 5, we moved to Sacramento, and when I got put in foster care at 7, he was granted visitations with me, and the last time I seen him was when I was 9. From 9 to 16, I did not see him.
Things just got real. Dive dive deeper into the soap opera-worthy lives of Ms. Nasirapur and Mr. Tucker, featuring secret marriages and hidden affairs. It's messier than a toddler with spaghetti.
There's a whole lot more to this story than what she's saying.
Been in this relationship, but it's true. You were living with them as a family, and then you disappeared. You went and got married to someone else?
Yes.
How could you disappear like that and
Not
go
once,
marry
but
someone
twice.
else?
Trying to put this on me,
Not
but
once,
you're
twice.
talking about you cheated on me with a pizza guy though.
You were in LA. You
Hold on to your coffee, folks. Ms. Nasirapur opens up about her rocky past, including a stint in the Slammer, hoping to patch things up with her daughter. It's as heart-wrenching as a season finale. What's next? It's sure to crank up the drama.
I made a lot of mistakes.
I can tell you love your daughter.
I do love my daughter, but you know what? I went to prison. I've done a lot of bad things. I forgave myself. I got out, I asked her for, when she's ready to forgive me. She said she did forgive me. I had to earn that. I'm sure I had to earn that. Trying my best. But if I was on drugs and I was dope fiend, Myron, then you should have stepped up and her if I was doing so bad.
Can you handle more? Ms. Markham Love shares her deep need for closure about who her real dad is. It's like the final puzzle piece she's been missing. Brace yourself. The truth bomb about to drop is epic.
You knew this man to be your father your whole life, and then you realized he may not be. What do you hope for today?
I just want closure. If Mr. Tucker is my father, I know his family. If Mr. Goldstein is my father, I would want to know his.
Are you ready for the big reveal?
As it pertains to 22-year-old Britt Markham Love, Mr. Tucker, you are not her father.
Wow.
Buckle up. Here we go. Ms. Myers steps up to claim that Mr. Black is the father of her little dude, Logan, all thanks to their past fling. She's pretty miffed because after initially playing dad, Mr. Black has ghosted them. Just wait until you hear Mr. Black's side of the story. It's a doozy.
Ms. Myers, you say 4 years ago you had a relationship with Mr. Black that resulted in of your son, Logan. You claim that after initially acting your son, Mr. Black turned back on you and started denying your baby.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold the phone. Mr. Black fires back, labeling their brief encounter as just a casual fling and slams Ms. Myers as an opportunist. He's adamant that he's not Logan's dad, blaming his doubts on her alleged promiscuity. Boy, oh boy. Wait till you see what's coming next.
Mr. Black, you state only a 2-week fling with Ms. Myers while she's cheating on her boyfriend. You say Ms. Myers is promiscuous opportunist and you will prove are not her child's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Grab your tissues. Ms. Myers paints a sad picture of little Logan, who thinks Mr. Black is his real dad. She talks about how Mr. Black missing out on big moments like birthday parties has really bummed the kid out.
So when it's Logan's first day of school, he'll ask, where's Tyrell?
Because he thinks Mr. Black is biological father. That's what you've told him.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a lot of doubt on the reason why I'm not the father compared to what Jasmine had done with a lot of shady things that made me believe I am not father. So
he doesn't show up for his day parties. He promised Logan that he would come to our birthday party and he did not show up. So Logan was very upset.
You're not gonna believe this. Here they go bickering about how long they were actually an item. Mr. Black is sticking to his 2-week story, but Ms. Myers insists they were practically an old married couple for months.
We met on Facebook. We went to the same high school.
So you went to high school together, and then you reconnected on Facebook.
Yes.
And then what happened? It turned into dating, a relationship?
Into dating. We were talking we were talking for almost like 3 months before Tyrell went back to his other child's mother. And then he accused me of cheating and lying. It was not 2 weeks. It was more than.
It was a 2-week fling.
Wait, what now? A major bomb drops about when Mr. Black got the news of the pregnancy. Ms. Myers says she told him early on, but he claims it was way later, fueling his paternity doubts. And just when you thought it couldn't get any more tangled,
she was about 8 months pregnant, and I got a courtesy call at work.
A courtesy call?
Yes,
That's not
courtesy
true.
Calling you to let you know I'm pregnant. Don't worry, you're not father. It's my boyfriend, baby.
That's not
I just want to know just in case you hear something in the street.
I texted him and told him that I was sick. He told me, well, maybe you should go to the doctor. So I ended up going to the doctor and finding out that I was actually pregnant.
Oh, snap! Ms. Myers accuses Mr. Black of bailing and going AWOL once the baby news hit. This guy apparently started fading into the mist, leaving her to handle everything solo. But there's more to this soap opera, so don't go anywhere.
Myers, Mr. Black just testified clearly. He did not even know you were until you were 8 months pregnant when you called courtesy call.
That's a lie. What it is, he doesn't want to know that he has 3 different kids, 3 different women.
That doesn't bother me. If that was the case, we could have been
that he doesn't want the world till he has another child by another woman.
Are you kidding me? At the hospital, Mr. Black gets what he calls a courtesy call call, then gets the cold shoulder and can't visit Ms. Myers because her current beau is there. This saga has more twists than a pretzel. What's next is just wild.
Same day she had a Yana, I was actually at work on my lunch break, and I got a phone call saying, hey, the hospital, I'm in labor, I'm about to have him. At the same time, I got approval to get off of work to the hospital to see him. When I got there, they told me I was not allowed to see it because she refused to have me come in the room because her boyfriend at the time was there.
This just keeps getting juicier. Despite all the drama, Ms. Myers stands firm that Mr. Black is the daddy, based on their intimate past and Logan's resemblance to him. Brace yourself because the truth bomb is about to drop.
I'm 100% that he's his dad. Like, I slept with nobody else. He looks just like him. He's lactose intolerant.
What that got to do with it?
That's usually something that's hereditary.
I'm still stuck at lactose. I don't think that's sufficient evidence, Ms. Myers.
Here comes the moment of truth.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Black, you are the father.
Can I see him?
Hold on to your popcorn. This just got real spicy. Miss Bargy drops the bomb about her love triangle gone wrong, creating a daddy dilemma with her hubby and her ex, each thinking he's fathered her 2-month-old mini-me, McKenna. She's crossing her fingers that the DNA test swings in her hubby's favor to glue her marriage back together. But keep your eyes peeled because the next scene cranks up the heat.
You admit cheated on your husband and now are caught in a paternity triangle, with both men believing they fathered your 2-month-old daughter, McKenna.
Yes, sir.
You are hoping today's DNA results prove that your husband is her father so you can save your marriage.
Yes, Your Honor.
You think that's wild? Check this out. Mr. Bargy pours his heart out about his bond with McKenna, sharing those sweet daddy-daughter moments that tug at your heartstrings. He's all in, hoping the test proves he's the real dad. As he gushes about his baby girl, the room's thick with anticipation. Stick around because the plot's about to thicken.
I could be at work for 10 to 12 hours a day. I take 5 minutes out of my time, busy or not at work, video call, sit here, I wake her up when I get home. As soon as she hears my voice, she's smiling. And as soon as she hears the car pull in.
Your baby, in your heart, that's your baby.
That is my baby.
And you are hoping that today's result affirm that.
Just when you think it's calming down, bam, another curveball. Mr. Lawson reminisces about his happy days, thinking he was starting a fam with Miss Bargy. As the courtroom drama unfolds, it's clear this paternity puzzle has more pieces than they thought. The upcoming twist, you won't see it coming.
Thoughts I was happy because me and her talk family and life together.
This is the start of the family. You two said you wanted together.
Yes, ma'am.
This baby. Ms. Bargy, at that time, did you also know that your husband could potentially be the father?
At first, I thought it was Calvin for sure. Then going back dates and everything, things started to not add up.
Can you believe this mess? Out comes a twist you wouldn't expect in a daytime drama. Miss Bargy never even told her hubby she was pregnant. Instead, a nosy pal spills the beans, leading to a showdown that adds another layer of messy to this already sticky situation. Fasten your seatbelts. It's about to get bumpier.
I did not tell my husband, period. He had a mutual friend that was on my Facebook. They had actually sent him a picture posting an ultrasound, and then he started contacting me and talked to him and tell him I am pregnant. And then we started talking about the dates and everything, and even Mr. Bargy had stated that he'd be the father as well because of the dates.
Yikes, talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place. Miss Bargy debates the daddy drama, really hoping her hubby is the father so they can ditch the drama and play happy families. She makes a strong case for her hubby over Mr. Lawson, who's been kinda MIA on the dad front. But don't wander off. The big reveal is next, and it's a doozy.
Have you thought about the result? If Mr. Lawson is McKenna's biological father, have you thought about where you go from here?
If Mr. Lawson is her father, I do not want him to be a part of her life, period. Like, I want rights terminated because my daughter deserves so better. My husband has been there and took care of her since all this has happened. He has been an amazing father, and McKenna deserves so much better.
Ready for the jaw dropper?
Biological father is Mr. Lawson. You are McKenna's biological father, Mr. Lawson.
So, check this out. Ms. Alston spills the beans that she really wants her little one, Jasmine, to have a dad in her life because she didn't have one while growing up. It's a heart tugger because she's all about making sure her daughter doesn't miss out on having a dad. Buckle up. The next bit is a doozy.
Of Alston versus Jones, Delk, and Harrison.
Ms. Alston, you say for the past 2 years been living in uncertainty and confusion. You're not sure which of 3 men fathered your 2-year-old daughter, Jasmine, and say you grew up without a father and don't want the same for your little girl.
Which is
correct.
You're not going to believe this. Ms. Alston lays it all out about her roller coaster love life, admitting she got busy with 3 dudes in just 2 weeks. She talks about her main squeezes and a little whoopsie in the form of a fling, setting up a real soap opera vibe.
So basically, Your Honor, I did have sex with all 3 men within a 2-week period of time. But out of the 3 men, I did have a relationship with 2, Joe Jr. and Mr. Jones right here. I met Mr. Jones back in high school. We dated for 2.5 years. I did, however, a few months after the relationship, I did cheat and I told him of.
Oh man, you gotta hear this. In a total plot twist, Ms. Alston and Mr. Jones get into the nitty-gritty of how she dropped the pregnancy bomb on him, stirring up all kinds of drama with a side of doubt about who the daddy could be. Hold on to your popcorn, because this soap opera is just getting spicy.
Here's how she told me she was pregnant. She said to me, "How would you feel if you're not the dad?"
That's not how I told you. I told you after the test that you may not be the father.
There was no test to begin with.
Prior to your pregnancy, did you tell him he may not be the father?
I think I was about past the 3 months.
Did she really just say that? Ms. Childs throws a curveball into the story, contradicting Ms. Alston's version of the birthday drama, revealing she was actually texted to bring the son to the hospital. The plot thickens, and you'll want to stick around for the next twist.
Miss Ashley, she texted me the day of, letting me know it was happening right then. Can I bring my son there to the hospital? For her to stand here and say she didn't know he was going to be there, that is a complete and flat out lie.
No, it's not.
That's why I went and I picked him up from school and I brought him there.
Things are heating up now. Ms. Alston talks about how Jasmine is practically being raised by a village, with grandparents stepping in big time, despite the daddy drama. It's touching but messy, and guess what? The next part will make your head spin.
You have helped, yes. Robert, right now, if I had to sign my daughter over, I would either sign it to you, Miss Tina, or to Mr. Harrison, to Robert at all.
The reason why I haven't done anything for Jasmine as of yet, I've been wanting a DNA for Jasmine's whole life right now. Like my mother just said, every time it came down to do something, she would go part, but once it's time for us to actually do it.
Here's where it gets juicy. Mr. Delk steps into the spotlight, talking about his brief but memorable cameo in Ms. Alston's life and his major role in Jasmine's world. He's been playing dad, even though the paternity is all up in the air. Don't go anywhere. The reveal is up next, and it's a tearjerker.
Openly admitted in court today that she was intimate with 3 different men during the time of conception, one of which
started watching her in June when you was doing your little paperwork and trying to find a job and everything. Basically, what was going on was, like you say, we wasn't never no boyfriend. It was one night stand.
You had a one-night stand.
That's it, one night.
Grab the tissues, folks. Mr. Delk makes a heartfelt declaration about his bond with Jazz, saying he's her dad, DNA or no DNA. It's super sweet and shows just how deep his feelings go. Brace yourself. The grand finale is about to drop, and it's a big one.
Today, Mr. Delk, do you want Jasmine to be your biological daughter?
She's my daughter regardless. The first person she gonna run to, probably past the grandmama, but she definitely will come for daddy. I mean, she will. If I walk out that door, she will holler for me.
What are your hopes? Well, it's like us from the beginning to Miss Ashley. Either way it goes, if she is my son, and that means I am her biological grandmother, or if she's not.
You're not ready for this. The big moment arrives, and bam.
It has been determined that the biological father is Mr. Delk.
Guess who's back? Again, Judge Lake opens the case by reminding Mr. Scott that this isn't his first rodeo in her courtroom. He's been here before, once proving he was the dad and once not. The judge seems half amused, half exasperated by his now 3rd appearance.
Scott, you've appeared in this courtroom for 2 previous cases with DNA results proved you were the father of a child and the other proved you were not. Now you say you are here yet again.
Round 3, here we go. Mr. Scott is on the spot for possibly fathering his 8th child with a 5th woman, despite already having 7 kids with 4 others. He strongly denies being the dad of the latest edition, showing signs of frustration and fatigue these ongoing accusations.
Different women to deny that father child number 8 with mother. Ms. Smith, you admit cheated on Mr. Scott, but say you believe it was you argued that the only reason he's denying daughter is because he can no longer control you.
Money Matters just entered the chat. Ms. Smith, the mother of the alleged 8th child, accuses Mr. Scott of conning her into paying for his travel expenses. She's gunning for $2,500 back for flights and hotels.
Into paying his travel costs when he visited Michigan, and you are asking the court to award $1,500 for reimbursement of airline and lodging expenses. So, Mr. Scott,
I met her on the website. I was looking for love, and I went to a website, ran into Crystal.
Trust issues, table for 2. As they air their dirty laundry, both parties accuse each other of cheating. Mrs. Smith had given Mr. Scott access to her voicemail, where he heard other dudes. This revelation turns up the heat on their already fiery dispute.
She gave me her voicemail, and I hear dudes in the background.
I gave you my voicemail pass.
Okay, yeah, true that. But then dudes are leaving voicemails to her, talking about, oh,
You had girls leaving voicemails on your phone and calling.
You're supposed to do that if you have a man. Dudes are not. Well, dudes leave messages talking about you sexy.
And you ain't supposed to be calling other
So hold on, this is before you ever met her?
Yeah, this is before, but we talked every day.
And they finally meet. Spoiler, it's not pretty. After an 8-month online romance, Mr. Scott and Ms. Wood-Smith meet face to face. The encounter is far from fairy tale with squabbles over who paid for what, showcasing their rocky relationship.
I paid for the whole trip for him to come here the first time, and then for his
I
ride
paid for my
here.
own
No,
gas.
he did
She
not.
paid for me to come back.
I paid for all our food, our hotel.
You didn't have to pay for the food. We was getting the food
gas.
from your job. You know what
He told me that he's basically this big rich person, Hollywood.
I ain't never said
that
that
he
from
had a big
Hollywood.
house on the beach. That he had.
Even the judge can't believe her ears. Judge Lake questions Mr. Scott's repeated claims of searching for true love, hinting that she's heard this song before. She challenges his sincerity, suggesting a pattern of not-so-great relationship choices.
Time you appeared courtroom, you said exact same thing.
I wouldn't
Mr.
say it was
Scott.
love. On the internet site that I met him on, I wanted.
So, Ms. Kalan, you find out you're pregnant, and then what?
He was happy, quote unquote. Oh, mommy, we're gonna be family.
Things just went off the deep end. Mr. Scott pulls out all the stops with mind games to confirm Ms. Smith's unfaithfulness, adding another layer of complication to their twisted tale. His sneaky tactics reveal a lot about how he deals with conflicts.
Yeah, and I said, I promise you, I won't leave. Tell me what happened. She said, he took advantage of me. We had sex right there, but it didn't last that long because I loved you.
I did lie.
She should have been
a lot
honest.
about that.
And she didn't in there like, look, babe, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for it to.
Point in our relationship, we were already.
She told me this
We
after
did not
I
talk
told
in
me
our
this
relationship.
Cha-ching, let's talk cash. Ms. Smith lays out the receipts of what she spent on Mr. Scott's visit, turning this moment into a major point of contention. The judge examines the evidence, highlighting the disparity in what Ms. Smith shelled out versus Mr. Scott's claims.
Or some type that outlines what paid for. So you've got a round-trip bus ticket, Palmdale, California, hotel expenses for $461. Surely,
Print that
the
out.
big man California didn't ride bus all the way to.
Drum roll, please.
Mr. Scott, you are father.
Who couldn't keep their legs closed?
Take
Keep
it.
their legs closed, Rudy.
Guess who's coming to dinner? Mr. Angelier claims Miss Vargas was still Mrs. Somebody Else, and they started their little rendezvous and she got pregnant. He tells us she first said, no, not your kid, but later flipped the script after her marriage hit the bricks. Miss Vargas fesses up to trying to save her sinking ship of a marriage by fibbing, but now wants to prove Mr. A is indeed the daddy.
Claim the defendant, Ms. Vargas, was married and having an affair with you when she got pregnant. You say she initially told you that you were not father of her 11-month-old son, but dropped the bomb that the child wasn't yours after her marriage was over. Ms. Vargas, you admit you lied to Mr. Angelieri because you say you were trying to save your marriage.
Yes, Your Honor.
Spill the beans, Mr. Angelier. He tells us how he and Miss Vargas went from sharing office gossip to sharing, more personal stuff. They started as work pals, graduated to drinking buddies, and one thing led to another. Bam! Next thing you know, they're more than just friends. He spills that all this kicked off after she told him her marriage was kaput. Keep your eyes peeled because what's coming up will make your jaw drop.
Well, first of all, Your Honor, Miss and I, we were never in a relationship. We worked together, we were good friends. She would come to me to confide with me over her rocky relationship that she had with her husband. That's what happened at first. Then a few weeks later, came in, said it's the last straw, I'm completely done with them. Next thing you know, we became better friends. She had brought her kids over a few times. We'd go out at night. We started drinking a lot together.
Oh snap, did she just say that? In a heated moment, Miss Vargas accuses Mr. Angelier of plotting to plant the pregnancy. The audience and Judge Lake are not having it. Cue the courtroom crackdown, with stalking accusations and heated words flying. The emotional roller coaster is just getting started. You won't want to miss what happens next. It's a wild ride.
That night when we, had sexual intercourse, planned to get me pregnant. I feel like you did.
Oh, no, that's a lie!
That night, Your Honor, I feel like from the beginning, he's always stalked me. Even my friends at work would always tell me, he's looking at you again.
Said the same thing to me.
Who's the daddy? The plot thickens as they dive into the daddy debate. Was it the estranged hubby or Mr. Angelier during the conception conundrum? This segment sifts through the timelines and Miss Vargas's strategic maneuvers as her marriage crumbles.
Your Honor, at the time, we were separate.
So you two were intimate?
Yes, just once.
And then you found out you were pregnant?
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you also?
Yes, Your Honor. A month before, me and him had sexual intercourse. Me and my husband were still.
Had been intimate with your husband and also Mr. Angelieri?
Yeah, yes, Your Honor.
Hold the phone, he's got a hunch. Mr. Angelier gets all sentimental when he spots a pic of the kid, reigniting his daddy instincts. He's back in the game, folks, determined to find out if he's the father. This heartfelt revelation sets the stage for some serious courtroom drama, so don't go anywhere. it's about to get even juicier.
No, I didn't even talk to her until, because I have 2 kids that live in Washington State. When she told me there's no chance, kid is yours, no way at all. Long term, when I was trying to get back up to Seattle to be with my other 2 children. I didn't want to get in a serious relationship or have any kids.
Like I said, I was trying to save my marriage. That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to do the thing, and I felt like I was doing the right thing.
The DNA results are in, and guess what?
11-month-old Giovanni Vargas. Mr. Angelari, you are father.
Thank you so much.